Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Galactic Warrior channel here in Appalachia. Just another hot but beautiful Sunday afternoon in July. And got the sacred fire going. I've been outside all day cutting wood. Bought a new chainsaw. Had to test it out today, and it worked very well as I build my nature path just behind the camera here. And But we're all done for the day. Been going for quite a few hours now. Time to relax. And I wanted to do a quick little continuation of yesterday's discussion. Men, fear, and confusion was the way I titled it yesterday. Today I want to add another C word. Yesterday, one of the other words that was in there was chaos. I was talking about this chaotic energy that so many people are surrounded by, especially in the suburbs and the cities. I've talked about that many times, or mentioned it many times. The other word is, though, for today, it's men, fear, and control. So, control, we all have at some level, excuse me, at some level, at some points in time, we try to control the world around us. I know I do that in my profession. There's this fine line where I'm responsible for something, but I'm also part of a team. So the team is responsible, and sometimes my teammates will do something I don't necessarily want them to do. And I feel that desire to control them so that they don't do what I don't want them to do. Even though they're doing what they think is right, they may be doing what the customer thinks is right. They're just not doing what David thinks is right at that moment. So I feel this need to try to control it. Now, why do I do that? Well, there's obviously some level of fear in there that I think this all goes back to the dysfunctional educational system where we're programmed to be the answer person, which I've mentioned many times. And therefore, when we get into these work environments, we want to be the one with the correct answer. And we don't want anybody else coming up with the answer because we want to be the hero. I see that a lot, and especially in the information technology world. Um, Everybody's the answer man. They just all want to come up with they'll just blurt out the answer. It's amazing to watch. But in other aspects of our life, we can also succumb to the fear, that deep inner fear, and try to control something or someone. Now, I saw this in real life with two people very close to me years ago. This is 2 or 3 decades ago. And he was trying to control her by always wanting to know where she was and what she was doing. Now, in modern parlance, this might be called anxious attachment. So, if you haven't heard of attachment theory, where there's anxious attachment, where there's this need for feedback all the time from your partner, so it's how you doing, how you doing, how you doing, because you're insecure in the relationship, which means you're insecure in yourself, really. Then there's avoidant attachment, where we just don't want to get attached. A lot of us with abandonment issues have avoidant attachment because we subconsciously think that someone is going to abandon us if we allow ourselves to open up and make a strong connection. Then there's something called disorganized attachment, which I think is those two kind of put together, but not quite. There's something, I can't remember all the details. But I know in my life where I've looked back now since I learned about this attachment theory a couple of years ago, and I read a book on it, a very good book called Secure Love. I look back on my life where I could see where I was experiencing anxious attachment and avoidant attachment at different points. The fourth one is called secure attachment, which is where we want to get to, which is why we got to go inside, because we have to be secure in ourselves in order to be secure when we have a strong attachment with another person. Makes sense, doesn't it? But when there's a relationship and someone is trying to control the other person, one of the reasons might be that they're experiencing anxious attachment. And that control, that need for control, which is coming from somewhere very deep, can, of course, get out of control, can get physical, violent, etc. So we have to learn the signs of that for you younger people, especially you ladies. The need for control, the Dalai Lama's got a great saying. He says, if you can control it, why worry about it? If you can't control it, why worry about it? And I always try to remember that, because most of this world we just cannot control. Really the only thing that we have any possibility of controlling is this, us, ourselves. So we have to learn how to control this, which means we have to dig into that fear, because that's where it's coming from. And men, as I'm speaking to this weekend, yesterday and today, we have to set the intention every day to do certain things. We have to be willing to go inside. We have to be willing to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, who's talking? Who's doing this? Why am I doing this? Where's this coming from? We have to ask these questions. And I hope some of the men are listening to this and will start doing this. I had recently some responses from some guys who got it, and they started doing this. And start telling yourself that you're safe. This is the one of the guys that said he listened to one of my videos where I talked about, just tell yourself, I'm grounded and I am safe. I am safe in this body, on this planet, at this moment. I am safe. Just tell yourself that every day. I am safe. No matter what happens out there, I am safe. This little boy, this little 5-year-old boy is safe. You got it, guys? This is what we need to do. We need to tell that little 5-year-old that he is safe. No one's going to hurt him. And when he wants it, we just give him a hug. Okay? That's what we need to do. And when we can get in touch with this fear, and I did a video about a month or so ago about gaining strength from these low vibrational, or what some might call negative, emotions, which is shame, despair, grief, fear, anger, even pride, okay? Sadness, depression, anxiety, the list goes on. It's a long list. But if we can learn how to tap into that and go back to my 5-step approach of acknowledge it, embrace it, give it a hug, give the anger a hug, give the fear a hug, give the anxiety a hug, okay? If we can acknowledge it and embrace it, then we can start to transform it, transmute it, and integrate it into the whole. And then, when that happens, when we become that self aware of what we are experiencing in the moment, we won't need to express that as control. Do you understand? We won't need to do that. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to have our moments. I still have my moments. I know I had one Friday, because somebody didn't do what she said she was going to do. And I was pissed off. And we have a right to be angry as long as we can let it go quickly, surrender to it. But it's going to happen. And that's where every morning I tell myself I'm compassionate with myself. I have a passion for life, and I'm compassionate with myself, and I'm compassionate with others. And just repeat these simple mantras, okay? But we're here to experience all of this. I'm convinced of that. So we're going to have these moments. We're not going to be, unless you want to go live in a cave where you don't have to experience the other human beings, as long as we are experiencing the other human beings, we are going to experience fear and anger and grief, shame. It's just part of life. Okay? But be cognizant of when you feel this need to control another person or to control what is happening at that moment. And tap into yourself and ask yourself where this is coming from. What is being expressed here? Okay? Now, as I said yesterday, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a therapist. I don't have all the answers. I just think it's important to have these discussions. I think it's important to put this out there because who's ever watching this at this moment, this was for you, so that we can have this discussion around the sacred fire in my sacred space where we are all safe. That's the idea. All right. And when we're all safe, then we will not experience that fear and we will not, therefore, manifest it into a need for control. That's the idea here. All right. So ask yourself where it's coming from. Think about those moments where you tried to control someone or something and ask yourself, dig deep, where did that come from? Okay? Hope you have a wonderful week. I know I will. Right now, I'm just going to have a wonderful day, the rest of today. Cosmic energy, earth energy, heart energy. Send loving heart energy out to all beings, all dimensions, all timelines, all realities. May this day be filled with compassion, loving kindness, and courage. Until next time, be a little bit better today than I was yesterday. It's all we strive for. Ciao.